Alright, you guys, welcome back to another episode of reality. Now, in this edition, we're going to start covering some Jeet Kune Do basics, and just want to put a disclaimer out there. I am not responsible for any injury or personal loss that can result from misuse or use of this information, which is for entertainment purposes only. That being said, I was very much adamant for the last decade and a half about not putting certain information out there, but now with the advent of the World Wide Web and information at your fingertips, if somebody has malicious intent, the information is there. There's nothing I can do at this point to prevent such a person from acquiring that knowledge. Every single bookstore in America has Bruce Lee books. They have anatomy and physiology books. This information at this point is no longer a secret, and it is now widely available, aside from the fact that you got a whole bunch of these guys that are erroneously putting up all kinds of martial arts knowledge on the YouTube, which is really not meant for general public consumption. If you catch my drift, there's certain things that are just simply meant to be passed on from an instructor to a student on an in-person, personal basis. After you get to know that person and you acquire each other's trust, and you judge their character, that they are worthy of certain things. That being said, I'm probably going to start putting out some empty hand content. I'm going to definitely be putting out more strength and power development stuff, training in the gym. I'm probably going to put up a curriculum with some stick type of stuff in the FMA, but as far as some of the acupuncture and the iron body knowledge, the knife knowledge for sure, I'm just going to keep that to myself, because certain things are just not, like I said, meant for general public consumption. Now, that being said, we got our little guy here, and he's standing in anatomical position. This is a 5 points anatomically correct position. Now we have a center line here that starts at the top of the head and projects vertically all the way through the center of the body. From the top of the head through the body, in between the reproductive organs and the anus. Now we have this is called center line. Now, along that center line, you have 4 primary targets that will take virtually anybody out of a fight, whether they are trained, whether they are conditioned or not. You have the eyes, which is basically an exposed organ on the outside of the body. The throat, the groin, and the knees. And not to beat a dead horse, but I will reiterate, you hit somebody in the eyes, fight's over. That's if you want to end a fight quick, And again, guys, we're talking about a situation of life or death where somebody's trying to violently carjack you or assault you. Maybe somebody breaks in your house. You know, maybe you're in the shower and somebody's crawling in through a window. It's happened. It can happen. You're laying in bed, you hear somebody coming up the steps. Maybe you're unarmed and you can't get to a phone. You have to defend yourself. Well, if you hit somebody in the eyes, fight's over. That's it. They're going to be in crippling, paralyzing agony. Okay? At that point, they're helpless. And you jam somebody in the throat with some kind of a winding throat shot, or like a seat pit. We refer to this as a seat pit hand or a sea hand in Filipino martial arts, where you hit them with some kind of a leopard fist like this. Boom. Or even a punch in the throat. That's it. They're done. Now, you can attack the throat and the neck in a myriad of ways. Bottom line is, you shut off this air supply, that person is done. And like I said before, they might be on borrowed time. Then again, you have the groin and the genitals, which again is an organ on the outside of the body. If you hit somebody there with enough force, you could kill them. That's just reality. You hit somebody there, they're most likely they're going to be in paralyzing agony, laying on the ground, writhing in pain, just all crippled up, like just writhing on the ground like a worm. And depending on how hard you hit them, it may or may not have an immediate effect. Then you have the knees, which are located on relative or relative center line, which again is a projecting line through the center of the limb. Okay? You hit somebody in the knees, and you smash their kneecap with enough force, you're going to buckle that knee. You might hyperextend the leg. If you hit them on an angle with enough force, you might break that leg.